Tony, how are you?
I'm great. I get to talk with you about Odyssey, this
Mm,
criminal thriller, this crime drama, and your
mm,
character, Natasha. Talk to me
mm.
about her and her arc in this.
Well, um, she came from my own personal experience of getting a job. I've been a perpetually jobbing, sometimes resting actress, and always worked on the side. And I had a few years on and off working as a lettings agent, we call it here, so in rentals rather than proper real estate, I suppose. And it was a bizarre place and a sort of a place where you couldn't really they were far-fetched stories if you told them, but actually real occurrences in this boutique little agency. So it came from this was inspired by that, and it came from years of telling these stories to Gerard. But um, I suppose Gerard likes character studies. It's really a question for him, but he likes character studies of sort of desperate people at a point in their life where, they're usually on the verge of some kind of breakdown.
Mhm.
And, they're increasingly hurting or in pain or, with with few redeeming qualities of character. And it was a joy to play, very freeing to be this sort of ruthless, evil, uh, vulnerable woman.
Well, she's a bit different than any character you've played.
Yes, she is, certainly, yes. And it's great. I have on the front of my script, no smiling, no apologizing. She's the opposite of me who wants to smile and please and apologize, and it's a bit boring. And she was very bold, and
Mm.
it was fun to do that.
Well, it's got to be freeing also and a bit cathartic.
Absolutely. It really is. And
Mhm.
especially with something like this, when, you're speaking to somebody who's jobbed over the years and who might come into a drama and then ease out again and drift in and out. And, you try and make an impact or you have a little character arc, but it's never from beginning to end. And it's wonderful to be able to sort of literally not have room to breathe, let alone post-mortem scenes after they're done. They're gone, goodbye, and you move to the next. And the way it was filmed as well, it was no real sort of stop start, there's your mark, master shot, next shot. Um, Korshan, the DOP, was sort of moving along with me through the
Mhm.
streets of just up the road from me in Camden, and sort of like dancers. Well, he was running backwards with his grip, sort of moving scaffolding and dustbins and people aside, and we were moving through rush hours and up up Primrose Hill and in the pouring rain and all over town. And it's very useful to be able to keep moving and just to keep burning energy as you're acting. It
Yeah,
helps.
I would imagine it's almost like being on stage.
Well, it is. Yeah, it is in some ways. I mean, there's sort of often on stage there's real blocking and slightly meeting your mark and sometimes not upstaging and things like that. I love being the one with my back to the audience often, actually. I think sometimes they're the most interesting people. But there's lots of blocking in that. This was just, this was pounding the streets for miles, it felt like. And but it is really freeing, and it's similar. Of course, it's similar in the fact that I got her whole story and, and I got exhausted along with her, which was again useful for
It's a
acting.
wonderful thing for an actor to feel that.
Yes, yes.
Also, talk to me a little bit about the wearing the executive producer hat on this. Do you enjoy that part of your job?
Well, I mean, that was really because the story was inspired by my events, and I was within the casting process as well. So that was enjoyable, but strange, sort of guilt-inducing, sort of being. I didn't make final decisions, everybody, but they asked my opinion, and I was. It's different to be on that side of the camera, um, and I live with Gerard, the director. He's
Hmm.
the father of my children. We're together, and so we did some location scouting, and um, so yeah, I mean, it was all enjoyable, slightly desperate at times, but all good, all eye-opening, and something I haven't done before.
Is it a bit straining to, cohabitate with your director? I mean, during a shoot, I mean,
Well, no, during the shoot, actually, we hardly saw each other. We were like ships passing in the night. I mean, it can be tense cohabiting when you're not working, let me tell you. But when you're working, it's fantastic. And he's a great actor's director. He's somebody who sort of lets a scene play for as long as it needs, and then longer some. And we had I think back to one of the times when I haven't laughed so much, but when I'm showing around the gay couple in the second scene, and they're looking to buy, and that was the character, the tall character was a stand-up comedian here, very funny, and also Cav, who played his opposite his boyfriend, played in Gerard's last film, Muscle, and he's a very brilliantly funny physically comedic actor, I should say. Um, so we didn't get through that scene without, I mean, we had about 5 half-hour takes, that was. And, Korshan was just going round in circles, the DOP, just trying to get one when we weren't sniggering. It sounds very unprofessional, but, we got some gold out of it as well, I hope. But it was great to be able to play it through and to find the bits that did work.
It did
Um,
work. And this is so well filmed too. Your director of
yeah,
photography, your DOP,
yeah.
um, he knows his stuff. Like this felt like, a real noir film.
Yeah, yeah. And then it's a shame that Jared's not here now because he could talk you through that. But yeah, he favors that always in his films, the sort of guerrilla filming. He follows his characters. You often see them from the back, just, the tense shoulders, or if you remember Peter Ferdinando in Hyena, you see how his character art through his shoulders a lot in that film, I think, because it's a constant feeling of being on the move and feeling exhausted. Um, so yeah, yeah, it was very dark. It's very funny. He could tell you more about the choice of shots and the noir aspect because it's not my forte, but it was lovely to be part of it.
What do
Mhm.
you think audiences are going to take away once they discover Odyssey?
I hope that they might feel like screaming at her. I
Mm.
hope they feel kind of exhausted. I hope they get a sense of shock, but I also want them to not that they can't help but root for her because she's just slammed in their face for the whole hour and a half. And so you can't sort of help feeling sympathetic. So I want them to feel and empathize with her vulnerability and then sort of dislike themselves for it, maybe. And I want them to have a bit of an adrenaline ride and feel quite tired out
Well,
by
it is a
the
thrill
whole
ride.
endeavor.
It harkens back to some great, you know, crime thrillers that I grew up with, and it
Yeah.
seemed at the same time so brand new and yet so familiar in how the script was done. And of course, your cast is just spot on. I mean, what a brilliant
Yeah.
casting director you have.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Ollie Gilbert and Katie Covell, they were fantastic, really lovely casting directors, very communicative and kind and, not the not the obvious title, not the obvious traits that you might give casting when you're an actor, but obviously seeing it from the other side, you see what role they have and how tough it is. But yeah, it was
Do
process.
you miss live theater? Do you miss, going on stage
Do you know,
and
I do, because that was my the main part of my life until about 2012. The last thing I did was Yes, Prime Minister.
Mm.
And it has to be said, I've had the meatiest roles on stage, that's for sure. But I stepped out of it for a while. I wanted babies and I didn't want to be on the road all the time. And then it's very hard to step back in. I've got my twins though, but
Yeah, you're
but
always performing.
yeah, yeah. And so are they.
What's up next for you?
Oh, well, I've just done a short film with the writer. Nothing too exciting, truth be told. I'm waiting for maybe it'll hit in America and somebody fun will come find me. But I've just done a great little dystopian short with the writer Austin Collins, who co-wrote it with Gerard, um, sort of with parallels to The Graduate and the fact that it's sort of an unlikely obsession forming between an unlikely couple, me being the older woman and him being the Dustin Hoffman lookalike.
Mm.
Um, Desperate People again, and very comedic, really, really fun to play. Few words, very atmospheric. Um, and I've just been jobbing. I've just been jobbing TV and some audio work. Nothing to write about right now, I'm afraid, but still enjoying it.
Well, I'll make some phone calls for you. Don't worry.
Please, please, if
I'm
only
calling,
that would be
I'm
good.
calling Diane Morgan right
And,
now
and
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 just
I won't put you on the spot now, but if you think after those crime thrillers that they remind you of, I'd love to tell Gerard what you think
oh,
that's
sure.
similar
Well, I
to
mean, just anything in
it. Just
in
write
the
them down.
50s. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
just has that grit to it, and it's just a
Yeah, yeah.
lovely done.
Yeah.
Before I go though, I just want to say that I am such a fan of yours from Pride and Prejudice and The
Thank
Royal.
you.
It's you've done such great work, and I can't wait to for audiences to discover this and gleam onto it because we get British,
Yes, well,
television
you'll have
and all
had
that.
Pride and Prejudice, and she's hopefully quite unrecognizable from little silly chubby Kitty who spends all her life jigging and being an irritant to her sisters.
That's true. Well,
But that was a lifetime ago.
you guys just released the other Bennett sister, and that's actually pretty phenomenal. Um,
Yes, yes, and
so I know that.
the new Pride and Prejudice has just aired as well. I'm afraid I
Yeah,
haven't
I
seen that one
mean,
yet.
those stories are
I have to
just
watch.
eternal.
Mhm. Yeah, they are. Yeah, of course.
Holly,
Classics.
it's such a pleasure to meet you and chat
Good to
with
meet
you,
you.
and
Thank you.
congratulations on Odyssey.
Thank
Uh,
you.
I know it's going to be discovered. We discover British series really late, and then we love them, so
Yeah, 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 of course.
uh,
Well, I hope so. I hope it's a hit. I hope you enjoy it.
it will be. And again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks, Tony.